How can it be homophobic? Okay. My job has to be economics. Okay. Consumer choice. The consumer's optimal bundle. Vini, Vidi, Visa. We came, we saw, we went shopping. Yonder right. We want to determine which bundle within the opportunity set gives the consumer the highest level of utility. That is, we are trying to solve a constrained maximization problem where a consumer maximizes utility subject to a budget constraint. First, we show that Lisa's optimal bundle must be on the budget line in figure 3.8. Bundles that lie on indifference curves above the constraint, such as those on indifference curve 3, capital I superscript 3, are not in her opportunity set. Open parentheses, area, capital A plus capital B, close parentheses. Although Lisa prefers bundle F on indifference curve, capital I superscript 3, to bundle E on indifference curve, capital I superscript 2. She cannot afford to purchase F, even though Lisa could buy a bundle inside the budget line if she does not want to do so, because more is better than less. For any bundle inside the constraint, such as D on capital I superscript 1, indifference curve 1, there is another bundle on the constraint with more of at least one of the two goods, and hence she prefers that bundle. Therefore, the optimal bundle must lie on the budget line. We can also show that bundles that lie on indifference curves that cross the budget line, such as capital I superscript 1, which crosses the constraint at A and C, are less desirable than certain other bundles on the constraint. Only some of the bundles on indifference curve capital I superscript 1 lie within opportunity set. Lisa can afford to purchase bundles A and C and all the points on capital I superscript 1 between them, such as D. Because capital I superscript 1 crosses the budget line, the bundles between A and C on indifference curve 1 lie strictly inside the constraint. So there are affordable bundles in area B that are preferable to those bundles that contain more of one or both good. In particular, Lisa prefers bundle E to D because E has more of both pizza and burritos than D. Because of transitivity, E is preferred to A, C, and all the other bundles on difference curve 1, even those like G that Lisa can't afford. Thus, the optimal bundle, the consumer's optimum, must lie on the budget line and be on the indifference curve that does not cross it. At the moment, we're going to turn our attention to figure 3.8, the interior solution. It is a graph with burritos per semester, Q sub 2 on the vertical axis, and pizzas per semester on the horizontal axis. It has a downward sloping budget line intersecting the vertical axis at 25 and the intersecting the horizontal axis, the Q sub 1 pizzas per semester at 50. The text of figure 3.8 interior solution reads, Lisa's optimal bundle is E, 10 burritos and 30 pizzas on a difference curve capital I superscript 2. A difference curve capital I superscript 2 is tangent to her budget line at E. Budget E is the bundle on the highest indifference curve, highest utility that she can afford. Any bundle that is preferred to E, such as points on the indifference curve, capital I superscript 3, lies outside of her opportunity set, so she cannot afford them. Bundles inside the opportunity set, such as D, are less desirable than E because they represent less of one or both goods. That was page 76. If Lisa is consuming this bundle, she has no incentive to change her behavior by substituting one good for another. Completed describing the graph, returning to the text. If Lisa is consuming this bundle, she has no incentive to change her behavior by substituting one good for another. There are two ways for an optimal bundle to lie on an indifference curve that touches the optimal bundle, has positive quantities of both goods, and lies between the ends of the budget line. The other possibility, called a corner solution, occurs when the optimal bundle is at one end of the budget line, where the budget line forms a corner with one of the axes. Stop. Completed describing the graph, returning to the text. If Lisa is consuming this bundle, she has no incentive to change her behavior by substituting one good for another. There are two ways for an optimal bundle to lie on an indifference curve that touches the budget line but does not cross it. The first is an interior solution in which the optimal bundle has positive quantities of both goods and lies between the ends of the budget line. The other possibility, called a corner solution, occurs when the optimal bundle is at one end of the budget line, where the budget line forms a corner with one of the axes. Interior solution. In figure 3.8, bundle E on the difference curve capital I superscript 2 is the optimal bundle. It lies in the interior of the budget line away from the corners. Lisa prefers consuming a balanced diet, E, of 10 burritos and 30 pizzas, to eating only one type of food. For the indifference curve capital I superscript 2, to touch the budget constraint but not cross it, it must be tangent to the budget constraint. The budget constraint and the indifference curve have the same slope at the point E where they touch. The slope of the indifference curve is the marginal rate of substitution. It measures the rate at which Lisa is willing to trade burritos for pizzas. Capital M, capital R, capital S. Equals negative capital U sub 1 over capital U sub 2. Equation 3.3. The slope of the budget line is the marginal rate of transformation. It measures the rate at which Lisa can trade her money for burritos or pizza in the market. Capital M, capital R, capital T equals negative P over 2, equation 3.12. Thus, Lisa's utility is maximized at the bundle where the rate at which she is willing to trade burritos for pizzas equals the rate at which she can trade in the market. Capital M, capital R, capital S equals the negative utility of 1 over utility of 2, which can also be read as negative capital U sub 1 over capital U sub 2 equals negative P sub 1 over P sub 2, which is the negative price of 1 over price of 2 equals the marginal rate of transformation, equation 3.13. I believe relative prices is the rate of transformation, rate, then the relative utility is the rate of substitution. Reader's comment concluded. Returning to the text, multiplying both sides of the equation 3.13 by negative capital U sub 2 over P sub 1, we obtain capital U sub 1 over P sub 1 equals capital U sub 2 over P sub 2, equation 3.14. Equation 3.14 says that capital U sub 1 over P sub 1, the marginal utility of pizza divided by the price of pizza, the amount of extra utility from pizza per dollar spent on pizza equals capital U sub 2 over P sub 2. The marginal utility of burritos divided by the price of a burrito. Thus, Lisa's utility is maximized if the last dollar she spends on pizza gets her as much extra utility as the last dollar she spends on burritos. If the last dollar spent on pizzas gave Lisa more extra utility than the last dollar spent on burritos, Lisa could increase her happiness by spending more on pizzas and less on burritos. Her cousin Spencer is a different story. Here it comes. Alright. We are going to rename this page 77. Or maybe not.